7th episode of Kind of Morning and Chat. I uh, I definitely planned on a come on kick this pig. The pig has been kicked. Now, I was planning on a full stream this morning, and lo and behold, I went to work. Uh, well, I got a text the night before last, and they want me to start coming in early on Fridays and Saturdays to give the little Indian guy a break. Since he pretty much works for free, 140 hours a week. I mean, he's literally there from open to close, pre-open to after close, 7 days a week. So, but you got to pay off your indentured servitude somehow. Um, but yeah, I guess he's been kind of by Sunday night and has to turn around and start it right away Monday morning again. So, morning, Jan. Morning, Tony. Uh, but yeah, I got to start going in. I mean, I'm not getting any more hours, but I go in hour and a half earlier and leave whenever hour and a half earlier, which is probably going to put me working till like 2 o'clock or something like that. So instead of my normal 3 or 4. So, but that's the gist of it, and that's why it's a short stream because I've got to turn around and leave here an hour earlier than I normally do. Hour earlier, almost an hour and a half earlier, on Fridays and Saturdays now. So, I asked him, if you went to college and you became an electrician in India, why did you come here and start working at a restaurant? And he said, how in America a lot of Indians come here and they buy businesses or they become doctors or whatever. He said in India, um, they become electricians, they become architects, they become stuff like that. But there's so many of them that there's no money to be made. So he takes his little 150 or $200 a week that he makes and sends it back home to his new wife, and it equals exuberant amounts of money. She literally, he should contact. Oh, you don't do that against the Patels, man. The Patels are the wealthiest family in India, and that's why here in America you have Dr. Patel, Dr. Patel, Dr. Patel, Dr. Every city has a Dr. Patel, and yeah. Have you not heard some of the things they do to people who wrong the wealthy families over there? I mean, if he done something stupid like that, he might just vanish before he even gets back home to his wife. So, and it's really sad because they don't tell them, when they bring them, um, when they offer to pay their way and set them up in a job and housing and stuff like that. They tell them, and your wife can soon follow and you can become Americans. But they don't tell them that it's a 2, 3, even 4 year process for the spouse to get her citizenship. So that's why he sends all of his money back there, and he has $5 or $10 a week, but he don't pay any bills. He don't. So, but anyway, I'm off on a tangent on that. I'm so tired, guys. I I got so tired of waking up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning that I started staying up till midnight or a little after to be able to sleep until 6, 7, 7:30, and I tried to go to bed last night. I think I dozed off at 12:30, and I was up at 15 to 5 this morning. So I'm just freaking whooped. United Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about that, man. I don't know anything about the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. No clue what it is. I thought you were talking about. I had, no, matter of fact, I've never even heard of it. I thought you was talking about some kind of a civil rights something something. And even on that note, Tony, by him. Hey, Chris, good to see you, bud. Glad you could join us this morning. By him coming here by way of indentured servitude, he has to work where he's working now until his debts are paid off. And we all know how indentured servitude works. I've known quite a few Indian families who run small stores, pony kegs, that send all the profit to get their kids over here and into college. But the nice thing about it is that, business is picking up a little bit. Tips aren't picking up. It's been a week since I made a dollar. I always put here. I always put $1 seed money in my tip bucket every day, and at the end of my shift, I pull my $1 back out and stick it back in my pocket for the next day. India has a rigid caste system. Step out of line, you could be killed. Oh yeah, yeah. We've watched many shows here at home of women that have stood up to their husbands, women that have tried to get divorced, one family challenging another family for something or another, and it's never ended good. It's very, very. You're right. It's a very, very rigid caste system. I knew I knew a girl back before Steph and I met, and she lived in Windsor, Ontario, and we talked for probably 6 months. And she kept telling me about her ex-boyfriend who was very famous back in India. He was basically the equivalency of a soap opera star here in America, and he literally got away with whatever he wanted to because um, a lot of the people where they lived at in Ontario were from India, and he's broken in her house several times. She's got him on camera breaking in the house, and the camera footage mysteriously disappears when she turns it over to the police. He's literally, tied her up before at gunpoint and told her she would be with him, that she was promised to him, and that she has no choices in her life. So it's terrible, man. You could do that here in the 1800s if your wife mouthed off to you. You could put her in an asylum. Yeah. Yep. Oh, I know. And don't forget, we back in the 1800s, it was basically a wife and children were chattel. You owned them. If they got disobedient or something like that, you were allowed to whip them for doing it. And hey, Ty, good to see you, bud. It's really sad. I mean, you couldn't abuse them, but you were allowed to punish them. So yeah, but it's been a busy week anyway. Um, God, what am I up to? I've got videos all the way through the 16th. I've been coming in here spending extra, all my extra time. The wife leaves for work. I'm back in here. I get up in the morning. I'm in here. Um, you still do own them in Africa, the Middle East, and China. Who's going to know she didn't die of lead poisoning? Direct injected. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good this morning. I'm really looking forward to Ghostorama next weekend, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, and I did find out too that I had requested the whole weekend off. I told you when you and Crystal were here the other day that I'd only requested the 15th off. But when I went back to work. I looked at the request board, and I found out that I did request the 15th and 16th off because I thought ahead for the ghost hunt, because I know that they normally go late. I didn't want to have to rush all the way back home to be able to go to work the next morning. So, hey, Jason, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well this morning. Happy Friday to you. Oh, you forgot to call me Tuesday, just giving you a hard time. Like I said, I've been so busy this week trying to keep the videos up and go out and do that investigation, the history of Charleston on Monday. Mm. Worked all day Tuesday getting it edited and stuff to get back up. It premiered, um, what, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Um, 6th, 9th, 11th, 13th. Yeah, so I'm all the way up through next Sunday. Whew. Let me see here. Yesterday's video was awesome. Army denied me so. I'm sorry, bud. Why did they why did they deny you? Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Yesterday's video was awesome. Yesterday's video was Charleston, Michigan. The history. Yeah, I'm really anxious to go out on Monday night with the guys and kind of stroll that area a little bit. There's a couple of service roads that go out into the fields. We might be able to hit to. I'm really not sure what we're going to do because believe me, when I say it's pitch black out there, um, it's pitch black. So there's no lights at all. Background because of hen-house screwed me. That's your whole problem in the first place, dude, is hen-house screwed you, and that's how you got in this whole situation in the first place. Huh, that's weird. The video won't advance to live. I'm behind like 30 seconds. Yeah, Danny, and that's the whole thing behind Charleston. It was a very successful stagecoach town. But when the railroad came through, it started to slowly kill off the town. And then a few years later, when the Morrises were mysteriously murdered in their home, according to all of Mark's research, people were actually afraid of because of the veracity of their murder and their very close proximity to the town of Charleston, that people started moving out. They were afraid that the Morrises were going to seek revenge and haunt the town and things like that. So I mean, even in the late 1870s, I mean, entire towns were scared to death of spectral vengeance, hauntings, things like that. So, I mean, that really, um, pardon the phrase, that was really the nail in the coffin for Charleston. Now, uh, the cemetery is all that's left, and that was pretty much a quarter of the town was the cemetery ground. So, good morning, Santee. Good to see you, man. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, well for Fridays and Saturdays they got me going in earlier, getting off earlier. Um, so my hours are kind of going to remain the same, but I'm just going to start them about an hour and a half earlier than than I have been. So plus I'm still off Mondays and Tuesdays, and I'm the 3 or 4 hour a day full time employee. So yeah, still don't make enough to survive, but no, I'm sure it won't change in the near future. I kind of want to tease myself and tell me it's going to, but it's not. It's even though we get busier earlier in the day and we have a bigger lunch rush. As soon as that lunch rush ends, they want me to clock out and leave. So, yeah. So I'm making the same amount, doing more, and still getting the loop. I'm still a part-time, full-time employee. Let's see here. Domestic and assault by police, which didn't do, but it's still on my record. Yeah, it's amazing how no one took into consideration the fact that you were under mental duress at the time and actually quite out of your mind over the situation. And though you probably, you know, did resist in some way, shape, or form subconsciously or physically due to subconscious situation, they referred to it as, you know, domestic assault, and blah, blah, blah. I caught up on all my Arizona Ghost Rider bids this week. Sorry things are not great. Sorry the job isn't paying the bills. Nothing you can really do about it. I mean, this is living in a small town. Um, you know, I pray for total blindness, so at least then they can't deny me disability. But hey, what do you do? No, well, and you're definitely right on that, Tony. They don't take things into consideration. When I was in the army, um, we had some psycho freaks, man. We had one dude that openly admitted to being institutionalized at one time because of his violent nature, and this was the same dude that was picking fights constantly. Man, you hung your dirty wet towel on the top bunk and it hung down where it touched my head, or it hung down where it touched my feet. Well, dude, you're 6.5 feet tall, sleeping in a 6 foot bunk. I mean, you're gonna hang over somewhere. So don't you get mouthy with me, white boy. I'll you up. It's okay though, because this means I just have more time to push out more content and push the fundraising. That's always look for the silver lining, bud. Always look for that silver lining. Might try the Marines. You ever saw a ghost while you're in these old ghost towns? Yeah, he brought one of them home with him. He brought Bill home, and now he won't leave. He just eats his cookies and drinks his whiskey and smokes his cigars. Sounds like what happened to Tascosa here in the Panhandle. The only thing left are cemeteries and a church. It's haunted after the gunfight at Jenkins' Saloon. I have Messenger. Cool. Make sure and send me a message. That way I've got you locked into my messenger since I can't locate you through Facebook. Um, I didn't realize you were in the Panhandle, Jason. I don't know how old you are, but during the last of my stay in Texas, I was just over in Wichita Falls, right in between the Panhandle and Dallas Fort Worth area. So, Rob, hi Rob. I found a lot of sense. Hi, all can't stay long. Busy weekend putting swing set together for grandkids, editing new video, going to festival in the arts tomorrow with the wife, and next week working on unsolved murder. Hey, don't forget you and Lisa, if she's physically up to it, don't forget the 15th is Ghostorama in Kalamazoo. There, Mister Robert. I have a clue how to find anyone on Messenger. The only ghost I've seen is our previous cat. However, I have heard a lot of things that these I can't explain. Very cool. Mint, Michigan. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Hey guys, getting ready for Napanee. Yeah, I was actually planning on coming to Napanee, and I found out that they changed my hours. So now I'm opening um, on Fridays and Saturdays now. The only reason that I got next weekend off is because I asked for it weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Um, but I got screwed out of Napanee. So go figure. How you doing, Justin? Good to see you, bud. I've investigated out there. It's eerie. I've never heard of it. I'm up in Amarillo. Been here for 40 years. Amarillo by morning. Up to San Antonio. Never been to Amarillo. Always wanted to go there. Probably won't be able to make it. I'll be working and haven't talked to Lisa much. She's been very sick. I know. I know. I've been very worried about her. Very worried about her. Whenever I catch something from her on Facebook, I always message her back or send her hearts or something. She's going through hell, man. June 15th, L Firm. 11 to 7, Ghostorama. I'm just waiting to hear the finalities, Danny, on how I'm getting there. I've got everything set aside. I'm even trying to get a new t-shirt made for it. Family, of course, that way it don't cost me anything. But looking forward to it, bud. You go take care of the youngins, and we'll talk to you later. I have a shirt that says that, Jan. I'd like to go back to Texas. I'd like to go back to the Southwest in general. Um, it's a totally different kind of humidity. The wife, of course, she's afraid of anything with more than six legs. Um, so getting her to the Southwest around tarantulas and scorpions and rattlesnakes and it's not going to happen. Not unless she's got stilts on. And she can't walk on stilts, so I mean, I might get lucky and get her to sleep in the car, but she'll never leave the car. She'll try to bathe in it and sleep in it and live in it the whole time we're there. So, That song played a lot where I used to work. I quit that job first of the week. Have an interview for another on Monday. Fantastic. Awesome. That's great news. I never lost anything in Texas. All my exes live in Texas. No, they don't. I get that. I'm like Jim Stafford. I don't like spiders and snakes. Man, I'll tell you what. When I was in Texas, I was doing a gun shoot down by the San Jacinto River, and we were chasing an armadillo around out there on Saturday afternoon between two of the shoots, and we found a hole probably about as big around as a soup can. Um, and sitting there, and we're watching it, and the brightest yellowy white spider started coming out of that hole. It was, I mean, that thing was bigger than my hand, and all you saw was about that much of it, and it's like, okay, that thing total had to be about that big around. And it's like, nope, 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 nope. I kill them 1/100th that size. I don't need something. I don't need something that can catch my foot when I bring it down on it and toss me backwards. Nope, 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 nope. Getting close to hitting 5,100 subscribers. Congratulations, Rob. That's badass, dude. Love it. Ain't a fan of serpents myself. Spiders don't scare me. Because you're a brave man. You're a brave man. When you run into a spider that can take your gun away from you, pistol whip you with it, and hold you at gunpoint until somebody comes up with the bug spray, you'll change your tune. I mean, when you get up in the morning and you find your dog wrapped up in a spider web, and the spider is sitting there with a knife and a sharpening stone, you know, you tell your dog you love them, close the door, go make a cup of coffee because they're, you know. Thanks, Drew. It wouldn't start until August. I'd be making almost $2 more an hour than what I made before. However, I ain't seen one the size of a small dog either. It'd be nice to have weekends and holidays off, also summers, and still get paid. Yep. When the spider gets big enough that it can hunt you with firearms. Yep. Daddy's out of that one. When you meet a spider big enough to wear body armor, I'm up for a good gunfight. Well, just remember, he has 8 legs, therefore, he can hold multiple sniper rifles at once. 8 legs and 100 eyes. You know, be sighting those puppies in. Oh, doggone it. Rob retracted his message. I didn't get a chance to see it. Yes, but zero trigger fingers. True that. See what I mean about always looking for that silver lining on the cloud? I'm throwing up gray clouds, and Tony's picking up all the little silver linings out of them. When you see a person walking a spider with a leash, then there's something wrong. Walking them on a leash, hell, riding them. Why am I going to invest in a moped when I got a 75-pound tarantula living out in my yard? I'm a glass half full person. Ah, how true, how true. But, on the sunny side of things, um, these weird hours and never working nights and stuff like that keeps us open for the investigations. I just have to work around Mark and Tony's schedules, um, so all of us can get together and do them. I remember when we visited San Antonio, we were walking the trails of Austin, and we seen a huge tarantula just crawling on by. My friend said that's a normal thing here, and I said to hell with it. One of the things that amazed me most about Texas were the armadillos. Uh, those things are like little four-legged armored Houdinis, man. We chased this armadillo for 20 minutes, and it literally ran into grass about this tall. I mean, granted, the armadillo was about like that, but the grass was up here. And you could see the grass moving as he ran through it. I mean, it was only a patch of grass about maybe 8 feet across. And we converged on that. I mean, there were people all the way around that grass patch. And that armadillo ran into that grass. You seen the grass move, and all of a sudden it stopped. And we all went into that grass at the same time, and that armadillo was gone. Everybody says they can dig really, really fast, but you would still see the grass moving as they're digging. And you would find the messed up dirt in there. This little sucker was gone. We didn't find nothing. I see a lot of dead armadillos along the road to the cabin. Really? All the way in Missouri. When growing up in Missouri, there were no armadillos there, zip zero nada. I didn't realize they were up that far. Hey Drew, what do you think if I doing a live stream fundraiser? I'm going to do a raffle when I do cowboy breakfast. It might work, Ty. I mean, you have to plan it out far enough that you can good advertising on it. But yeah, you might make a little something something doing that. Just like I said, just make sure and plan it out far enough that yeah, a week or two, maybe even longer than that. That way, people can spread it out. You can advertise it on your um, you can advertise it on your Facebook. Go to um, join different pages on there, like history buffs and U.S. history and reenactor sites, things like that. And you can advertise your upcoming fundraiser um, on there just by sharing the link from your main page. And that way, more people know what you're planning on doing. We have sightings of armadillos here in Ohio. My brother took a picture of one last summer. Wow. I may be still tipsy this morning. Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. You dirty girl. Okay, guys, I gotta get off here. I'm gonna be editing a new video. Stay tuned for that. It's a car video. I did Gilmore Car Museum. Nice. That sounds good. I'm looking forward to that one. I don't. I don't pass up good classic cars and stuff. You've done a couple live stream fundraising. So that's why I'm asking you. All the money's going to the Cabin Museum. Well, I've done them. Not really successfully, but I've done them. Ever do an investigation in Fort Washita, Oklahoma area? I was at a living history event there and saw some strange things down the Confederate cemetery. I have never done an investigation outside of Indiana or Michigan. I would really like to start branching out, and even if it means jumping on a bus and traveling somewhere with all my equipment and everything. Um, Sadly enough, I would have to completely change my policy of charging for investigations and stuff, which a lot of people just aren't into. So, you know, but I would have to be compensated for missing work and a bus ticket there and back and stuff like that. So again, as I've said so many times before, I'm not one of these big Discovery Channel investigative teams that can pay people um, for filming their stuff. But yeah. Oh. Glub 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 glub. We left a bottle of whiskey on the gate post. It's nice and respectful. We've done Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Tennessee. Yeah, I've still not made it back to my home state of Tennessee since I started doing investigations. I plan on getting down to mom and dad's sometime. And of course, I've got the metal detector to take out on the old Civil War trails and uh, things like that through the mountain or through the hills and stuff there between Chattanooga and Nashville. So, so many things I would like to do and no money to do them with. It's kind of embarrassing. Somebody was telling me the other day about this really nice little restaurant that I should take the wife to for a date. You know, quit working so much, dress up, take her out on a date, someplace nice where neither one of you have to cook. And I straight up looked at him and said, well, um, we did have date nights for a while when Grandma was still alive, and but 2 years or a year and a half, we've not done anything but work to try to keep the house, with the deal with the water company scrogging up and not charging or changing their system and you know stop they quit doing the automatic deduction thing. So after what, 5 months, something like that, they send us this huge water bill and tell us that we haven't made a water bill pay or water payment in however many months, and they want to put a lien against the property and stuff like that for $1,000, $1,100 bill. So we've been fighting to keep that afloat, keep the house going, and keep insurance on the car. And hell, the wife drove around from January until last month on expired tags because she couldn't afford to get the tags for the car. Um, One would think that with the history there'd be boundless activity in Chicago. Yeah, definitely so. Definitely. Thank you, Drew, for the advice. I appreciate it greatly. Never felt threatened there over 2 nights. I think they just wanted to drink with the soldiers that came there. It's a good point. That's a really good point. You would think, especially since the mafia and prohibition. Yeah, definitely. Tell me there is, but you have to know where to go. Yeah, or the Great Fire especially, but definitely the mafia activity and stuff that occurred there early in the 20th century. Um, and I mean, much like any other piece of land where it slowly expanded out, you have to look at at the Native American side of things. I mean, Chicago, which is what the local natives called it, I believe meant something like stinky ground or something like that because of the wild onion fields that grew all over that area. This stinky ground or smelly land or something like that. But as the city slowly expanded out, there were fights with the local native culture. There was complete disassociation, relocation, things like that. So, not only do you have Chicago itself, but you've got aspect also. Do you ever wonder why there's no ghosts from present day? They're all old school, like 18. Oh no, we have them in modern day. We have modern day. We have Mark and I have held conversations with Vietnam, World War II, um, Afghanistan, spirits from modern day as well. Place of the Big Stink in Potawatomi. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jason, because I knew the Potawatomi were in that area because you have the Eastern Band, which we have here in Michigan, all along Lake Michigan. And I think there's five, um, there's three bands. There's three bands here in Michigan. I think there's two bands on the west side of Lake Michigan. That was the big fear during Black Hawk's War, was they thought since the Potawatomi were joining in with the natives from further west and causing a problem on the west side of the lake, um, the whites here thought that it was going to move around the lake and they were going to start attacking here. And that's why what 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when we done Wright Cemetery, we were literally less than a half a mile from where our county militia had encamped, um, to start messing around the Potawatomi on this side. But unfortunately, they got all drunk and started raiding their own homes and towns and stuff here in the area for better supplies. So yeah, they were disbanded, and then the war never made it to this side of the lake anyway. So um, that is an aprapo name. Aprapo. So much violence, south side Chicago, north side. I don't see how there wouldn't be activity. Some of the original buildings might be gone, but should still have activity. At the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, there are two aircraft that are haunted. I took my meters there and got a lot of activity. And see, that's something else I've been wanting to do is make it down to Jan and Jay's place, um, down there by Cincinnati, and investigate down there some of the locations in their area, but just not take off of the word appropriate. Oh, okay. I'm Citizen Nation Potawatomi. I did not know that, Jason. That's very interesting. That's actually very cool. My wife works at a Potawatomi owned casino here in Michigan. So, and we're way down here. We're with um I can't think of the damn name of it. Pokagon. We're Pokagon band here. Chief Leopold Pokagon, um, which directly west of our town is Pokagon, Michigan, which is not really a. It's got a fire department, about 50 houses, and a little this and that kind of store. But yeah, my wife works for Pokagon Band Potawatomi. We'll bring you home with us and take you back. Just remember, I got to have a lot of heads up to get time off work. But yeah, when the band split, and it's amazing how it's appalling. I'm not going to say amazing. It's appalling how they split the bands up and then shoved so many people into Oklahoma. You know, I've always wanted to go to Tahlequah. Um, Only because my teacher, my blue feather, was Eastern band, but he had his grandmother was actually born on the reservation. Um, so he learned everything from her and her connections in North Carolina. But they had relatives, ancestors that were shipped out to Oklahoma, and I wanted to make it out there, um, especially when Wilma Mankiller was the chief of the Western Band, just to talk to her, and you know, of course, I've met Yellow Hawk. She was from she's Sioux. She's from South Dakota, and I actually met her at Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, one time, where she come to speak to the Native American group about Pine Ridge and stuff like that. Nobody wanted Oklahoma. Citizen Nation is out of Shawnee. We split off Prairie Band when the government offered citizenship. Okay. See, Um, there's a lot about the Potawatomi, and even being a local tribe here, there's a lot about them I don't know because they won't talk. I went to the big Labor Day powwow here a few years ago because I used to dance. I danced when I was younger, and you know some of the things that got back to me from friends, about the white guy pretending he's Indian, the white guy out there dancing, da 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 da. You know, it really kind of upset me when I'm trying to learn about the culture. I'm trying to communicate with them. I'm trying to learn the language. I'm trying to do all this stuff, and all they saw was a white dude pretending he was Indian. You know, I've tried to get out to the council house and talk to the tribal council and stuff about the history, and nobody. Nope. I mean, you would think after you know 250 years of whites looking at them as a lesser people, when you have one that comes out with an open heart and wants to learn about them and learn their history and tell their history and keep their traditions and stuff like that, you would think that they would be more open to um, talking to them. maybe not necessarily embracing them, but talking to them. Find out where their heart really is. But no, not here. Not here. Elizabeth Warren put a bad shadow on the I am pale face, but Indian bit. Hmm. But yeah, I danced for, oh God, 10 years. 10 years. I hit a couple events that were on the Powwow Highway. Tipton, Indiana's Tecumseh Lodge Powwow that drew in 500 natives from 50 different reservations. I used to dance with Sioux and Arapaho and Cheyenne and Navajo and Apache and God, Miami, Delaware, Shawnee, Pawnee. But Potawatomi up here, man. My dad's uncle's married to a full-blood Blackfoot. I've met a few Blackfoot too. I had to break up a fight one time because a Northern Cheyenne girl was hanging out with a Blackfoot boy. They were both 16, 17 years old, something like that. Um, but they were hanging out, and the brother of the girl wanted to fight the dude. And, I had to step in the middle of it and start bringing up, culture and unified culture and, you know, and then I made everybody laugh and I said, hey, it could be worse. She could be interested in a white dude. And they both just kind of stopped and they dropped their heads. It's like, you son of a bitch. She was nice as could be, but wouldn't discuss her culture. And it's really sad because, um, a lot of people aren't taught their culture as much anymore. Traditionalism is um, traditionalism is a dying thing, man. You know, just 75 years ago, some of your older people um, would still sit around and tell the oral stories and the oral traditions to the younger kids, you know, and it just slowly started dying off. There are very, very few that still do that. The Navajo comes to mind as one of them that still embraces a lot of their traditionalism. So yeah, I mean it's really sad. Now, don't get me wrong, all the guys that came to that powwow at Pokagon, they weren't like that. I was set up next to, and I hate to say it like this because it sounds bad, but I was set up to next door to one family, which I just had my tent out there. Everybody else was driving $150,000, $200,000 motor coaches and stuff like that, and I just had my tent set up out there. But you know, they invited me over to drink with them. They came over to my tent and sat around the fire at night, and we talked a little bit. And they were awesome, awesome people. But some of the other ones up by the dance ring and stuff, um, nope. My great 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 granddad brought the Citizen Band down from Kansas in 1879. Back then, he had to take a buckboard to Dallas for supplies. Damn. That's crazy. Only bad thing about these cigars, man, they unroll. Got to keep licking them. Nothing like getting hot ash on your tongue first thing in the morning. We got about 10 minutes left, y'all, and I have to buck out of here myself. Finish getting ready for work, get this damn tie off. I just put that on for y'all. I'm not wearing this thing to work. At least I don't think so. I might just for the giggles of it. Who knows? At 102 degrees in that kitchen, I try to look as good as I can and wear as little as possible. The interstate system in Dallas is what comes to mind when I think of Dallas. I've got a buddy that lives about a block from me that he was born in Dallas, and he has no desire to go back there. He said he spent about the first 17 years of his life in Dallas, Texas, and he said when you're dealing with that many people and that many cars and that much stupidity, he has no interest whatsoever of going back to Dallas. And frankly, I I can't blame him. I didn't mind Baytown, Texas, and Dayton, Texas, and Liberty, Texas, and Humble, Texas, but when you got me in Houston, Texas, but you got to also understand there's 10 million people inside the Houston Metroplex. So on average, there's eh, 15 million cars on the road during daytime. So, yeah. And they're all going about 95 mile an hour, except for the cops that are going 101. Some of our current elders remember the days when the great white father tried to kill the culture, and that's why they're quiet. And in a sense, I don't blame them. In a sense, I don't blame them. I mean, they're right. Tried to kill a culture, tried to kill an entire people. People endured. People endured. It's supposed to be low 90s here today. I don't know what it's supposed to be here. Let me see. Um, 63 right now. I bet it's not. Nope, 63 here right now. It's supposed to be 72 today, but with no ventilation back in the kitchen. It's on average where we sit anywhere between 85 and 100 and about 100 this time of the year. Come July and August, it'll be over 110 degrees in the kitchen with no ventilation. supposed to be. I don't blame him either. The worst I saw is Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta's a nightmare. Brenna agrees Atlanta's a nightmare. 69 here at the moment, 81 for a high. Good morning, Leah. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good this morning. 60 here, thankfully. 60's nice. Like I said, it's only 63 here right now. So, I mean, at least the walk to work's going to be nice. Um, at least. Hey, and another bright side to it. Today's payday. I mean, at least that thing they call payday. So the wife will pick me up from work. We'll go cash my check at the bank, deposit everything except the ones and fives, and that's what I get to keep. Uh, Payday, and I have the day off. Hell, you got it. You got it licked. You got it licked, girl. Payday, and you got the day off. That's pretty good. Payday for Brenna day two. Woohoo! Oh hell, it is supposed to be the Mrs. Payday. Yep. And it's seafood day at the bar, which means we're probably going to be dead as hell because nobody wants to come in and eat cod or pollock in a Michigan bar when they could be having bass and catfish and crappie and, all those other really cool things that come from Michigan. Smelt. All that fun stuff. Tomorrow's Brenna's last day at the store. Monday starts a new job. Boom! Awesome. I've been waiting to hear something about that. Very cool. My bank account is no longer empty. It's funny, Tony. I've never heard of your bank account being empty. Almost time to end this. I can start relaxing a little bit. Quit looking so pretty. It is often pretty empty. It, and at least we all suffer together. I make a I'm lucky to make a big bad awesome $200 a week. I get to keep like 10, 12, $14 out of my check. Everything else goes in the bank. Yep, when she closes the store tomorrow, that'll be her last time there. I'm happy. She deserves better. Yes, she does. You're right, she does. She has put up with a lot of crap from that place. She should have been made the general manager over a year ago. But apparently they thought a prejudiced, woman hating, racist dickweed would have made a better general manager. So, Let them have their thing. That racist, prejudiced, woman-hating dickweed is still stuck there, and Brenna's getting something better. So, I mean, you gotta look at gotta look at the sunny side. Gotta look at the sunny side. But all right, guys, it's that time. I have got to get ready for work and get myself together and head out of here in just a few minutes to go open the place up. Now she gets better pay, $2.50 an hour more than Water Boss makes. I will be on here Monday morning. It should be a full stream. Monday night we have the investigation out there at the Charleston, Michigan cemetery, the ghost town of Charleston, Michigan. If you guys want a little bit of the history on that place, go back and look at yesterday's video on the history of Charleston, Michigan, and you'll get a kind of sort of idea of what we are in for Monday night. And then, like I said, normal week next week until Friday afternoon. And I'll be taking off to help get Ghostorama Beacon Club in Kalamazoo, Michigan set up. And Saturday, that's where I'll be. So hopefully we'll be able to stream live from there a little bit so y'all can get a gist of it. Of course, I'll be filming it as usual for a video for the following week. So that's it for today, guys. Y'all have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Leah, Tony, Ty, Jan, Jason, whoever else is rummaging around in here, Sarah. You guys all have a great day. Have a great weekend. And as always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. And we'll catch y'all on Monday. See you later, guys.